All right, Cornerstone, I got your verse for the day today. We've been talking for the last week and a half or so about how much work it is to solve our problems on our own. In Exodus chapter 40, you don't have to read it now. You can read it later if you want. It goes through all the details of all the steps, of all the things Moses had to do to get the tabernacle ready. And at the end of that chapter, Exodus 40, verse 33, it says, "And Moses finished the work." But he didn't really finish the work. He just finished the work that day. It's like he finished his honey-do list for that day. He had to go and do the same thing all over again and many times and many years, repeating the same process over and over and over. Several thousand years later, Jesus would be hanging on the cross. In his last words, his dying breath, as his arms are stretched out, he says, "It is finished." And he meant it. It's finished. Once and done. We're good for the rest of eternity. It is finished. Fast forward to Ephesians chapter 2, and I think we touched on this passage earlier in our Verse for the Day series. And it says this, "But because of God's great love for us, God, who is rich in mercy, he made us alive with Christ, even when we were dead in our transgressions, and it is by grace, it's by God's gift that you have been saved. And God raised us up with Christ and seated us with him in the heavenly realms." Now check this, Jesus is sitting. Why is he sitting? Because the work is done. When the work is done, you get to sit down. When everything is done, everything is crossed off your list, when you can say it is finished, you settle into the easy chair. You're there for the night. You turn on a baseball game whenever baseball gets back on TV, and you watch it because your work is done. And what does this for? It says he seats us in the heavenly realms with Christ Jesus in order that in the coming ages and the years to come, he could show us the incomparable riches of his grace. The job right now, the job for you and me is to get from God exactly how great and how awesome God's love and his grace is for us, exactly what it means. This series, 40 Days of Grace, these verses of the day, keep plugging in day by day. Plumb the depths of how great God is and what he wants to do in your life. Get a little bit excited about what Jesus is doing in you. Maybe take a minute when the video is done, when the clip is done, I want you to pray and invite the Lord to speak life into your life today, give you a glimpse of those incomparable riches. All right? God bless you, Cornerstone.